observed that the piston bullies started to roll. In an effort to stop the rolling piston bully, Mr. Renner attempts to get back into the driver's seat of the piston bully. Based on our investigation, it's at this point that Mr. Renner is run over by the piston bully. An eyewitness detailed seeing Mr. Renner getting into the piston bully and not seeing him again until the piston bully came to a rest in a pile of snow in front of his driveway. At this point in the investigation, we do not believe Mr. Renner was impaired at all, and we believe this is a tragic accident. The Washoe County Sheriff's Office is in possession of his piston bully, and we are analyzing it to rule out any potential mechanical failure of why it may have started to roll. This is part of our normal investigation process for any major investigation. As I mentioned earlier, this investigation is ongoing. However, we do not suspect any foul play. I want to repeat that. We do not suspect any foul play. We believe this was a tragic accident. On behalf of the Washoe County Sheriff's Office, I want to thank Chief Summers from North Lake Tahoe and all of his personnel, and Chief Moore from Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District, Care Flight, and all of our regional partners who assisted in responding to this accident. And with that, if there's any questions, I'll answer a few questions. Otherwise,
could anyone drive a snowcat? Is that something you need a license for? Or
it was on a private road, so he can drive that snowcat. And in this instance, as Mr. Renner always does, those private roads, he was being a great neighbor, and he was plowing those roads for his neighbor because up there, again, they had 3 feet.
Sheriff, I just wanted to make sure I clarified on something you said. You said the snowcat started to roll. I presume that means it was rolling over.
No, it started just to move forward.
Okay.
You're welcome.
How many more details on these injuries?
For that, we're going to refer to the family. I believe they made a statement earlier today on his well-being. And again, all we want to say from all of us here as first responders, we are keeping him and his family and friends in our thoughts and prayers.
so you're looking at the plow thing to see if it had a mechanical issue. Was it run? It was still running. You don't know if it was like, does that device have a park?
It has a park, and so like we would because of this having such severe injuries, we want to make sure that with that mechanical machine that was there any mechanical failure, had he put in park or whatever. So that's anything we would do on any major investigation that we had. And so this is just something that we'll impound. We'll have our mechanics and our major accident investigation team go through and rule out that.
Did anyone here up or any of the officers who responded provide any kind of medical treatment when you arrived?
I would say they all did. And after Mr. Renner was run over by the piston bully, there were some neighbors that also brought out some towels to help. So, I want to thank them as well for their quick response in helping Mr. Renner while all of us first responders were responding. But first aid was rendered to him.
Was it hard for the helicopter to land given the conditions?
It was, and that's why it took them a little bit. As I know, there's a video already out there on social media. Just because of the weather, all of the snow that we had just gotten, they had to find a safe landing zone for it.
There's an early report that a neighbour who's a doctor, medical doctor, administered gave a tourniquet. Is that correct?
What I can tell you was there was no doctor on scene. It was some good neighbors of Mr. Renner's that came out with some towels and rendered some aid. And that's what I can say.
Did they tie a tourniquet?
That part I do not know. I just know that they came out with some towels and helped them until all of first responders could get there.
Do you know how much snow there was up there at the time?
There was about 3 feet that we had just received on top of whatever else they'd received prior to this big snowstorm, but 3 feet of fresh snow.
Did that complicate the rescue?
It did because Mount Rose was closed. And as you may have noticed during that time, we had about 13 to 20 cars that were abandoned from the bottom of Mount Rose all the way to the top. So trying to get them and get around for the fire engines, the ambulances. That's why, again, for fire, they collaborated from both sides of the Mount Rose Highway and came together to help.
I just wanted to clarify, you said he was trying to get back into the snowplow. Was he able to get back in and then was thrown out? Or
That part we don't know. We're waiting to talk to Mr. Renner.
What sort of condition was he in when you guys arrived? Was he conscious?
He was speaking to the first responders.
And I've seen it reported that he suffered chest wounds and some orthopedic injuries. Can you comment on whether or not
That part I don't know. I'd have to refer to the family and let them answer those or the hospital.
Do you have any details on how common an accident with a snowcat is?
No, not off the top. I would have to tell you probably there's always at least because this type of snowcat is one you'd see at ski resorts. That there's always these type of injuries or accidents that occur. But the exact number I do not know.
So it was on his property, not on Mount Rose Highway,
It was on a private road.
on a private road, and then the neighbors that he helps dig out are all part of that private road?
They're all on a private road.
Private road, so he never has to go on to public property.
No.
And approximately how far from the summit, roughly, would that be?
Couple miles.
Who called 911?
That one I don't know if it was the neighbors or his family member.
I know a lot of people have talked about the impact he has had in the community, donating to things and charity drives. What has been your relationship with him?
You know, he is a honorary deputy sheriff, and so when I took office in 2019, he came, and with his popularity amongst kids and the marbles, he has a huge impact. Those kids that he touched during Shop with the Sheriff, he showed up and shopped with our kids. I can guarantee they will never forget that moment that they got. He shared his time with us there and not only shopped with a few kids, but interacted with the kids. So he's had a huge impact, not only in this office in helping us with our outreach with Shop with the Sheriff, which is our biggest event, but throughout the community, he has been very generous. And he's one of those individuals that I can tell you most of the time you don't know that he's doing it, but he has made a tremendous impact on this community.
Did he do Shop with the Sheriff this year?
This year he did not.
And what's kids' reactions when they do see him? They know who he is?
They know exactly who he is, and they call him Hawkeye. And they are super excited. Even sometimes the parents may be a little more excited than the kids, but for us, that's a great thing with the Shop of the Sheriff when we do that. And to see those kids and the impact he has been truly impactful.
Is it common for people in that area to own piston bullies or snowcats?
Absolutely, or plows or something, because they're private roads. And so they get a lot of snow, and they're on roads that are not maintained by the county. So they have their own means to plow their driveways and their roads. Okay. With that, I want to say thank you again for coming. I appreciate you taking the time. And again, our thoughts and prayers are Mr. Renner and a speedy recovery. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Just one more quick question. This is kind of has national attention. How many different have you heard from media from around the world? 30?
From around
35 countries?
30 different
Agencies?
media outlets, yeah.
From all over the world.
Mhm.
Probably.